Oh, hi there. So I figured I'd give an update on the whole situation with me having sold my car, going carless in a not, super bike friendly city here in the United States. And right up front, best decision hands down that I've made the last, I want to say, couple years. And it has so many benefits, some obvious ones, but some that I didn't expect, and then some, semi-funny drawbacks that I didn't expect. So I figured I'd just talk about all this a little bit. But yeah, up front, kind of, you probably saw that coming, but the exercise that I get, the motivation, unbelievable. And I feel so much better physically. And yeah, I guess it's you kind of don't realize over the years. I mean, I'm like the quintessential skinny fat person. I look sort of fit, but really, it's been years since I could like really run for miles, and it went down. I was still putting on my jogging shoes to go to the park, but I was really just mostly like walking around, thinking about life and maybe just running a little bit. And you can't compare that with, going to the grocery with your bike and you actually have to pedal all the way there and pedal back with all the groceries on your back. And it is so motivating, and it really blows my mind because I was even one of the people when I still had money to spend, where I was considering, should I maybe get one of those Peloton bikes that people are raving about? I really need to do more for my fitness. And it's crazy that so many people like drive to the grocery 15 minutes and back, and then they hop on their Peloton bike and I don't know, and use that while watching TV when it's so much more fun, it's so much more motivating, it's so much more gratifying to do errands by bike. And yes, it's hard, especially when you don't have bike paths, when you have to ride on streets that, alongside cars, it's a little bit scary, and I'm getting used to that. But there's this weird, it doesn't make sense. It's not an accomplishment to basically having to sell your car and riding everywhere by bike, but you feel such a sense of accomplishment when you come home with the groceries and load them in the fridge, and even food tastes better when you carried it home, through your own effort. But yeah, so if you watch my previous videos, I was really worried if I could do it from a fitness level, and I was thinking about, okay, maybe I get an electric bike or use those electric scooters that the city provides, or even take the bus. And forget all that. I was so amazed how quickly my body caught up, and I'm gaining strength in my legs, and it's so nice to see that trips that were taking a lot of effort when I first went that way are now really easy, and I rarely have to get off my bike anymore. So number one reason, physical health, fitness, getting up in the morning and feeling that nice, sore leg feeling, and knowing you worked out. And so even though in other parts of my life I haven't been doing well, I feel this is really what has helped me so much the last few weeks. And then I have so much more energy. Like, even for my, computer work and my projects that I'm working on, I used to get really tired at 4 or 5 p.m. and then I would settle in and watch some TV or whatever. But now I have so much energy, I either keep going, or if I feel I need a break, I look for excuses to hop on the bike and do an errand. So that really amazed me. Like the other day, it was 6:30. It already felt like the sun was going down, and I was like, I have so much energy. I just, what if I drive to or ride to the grocery store now and get a couple more things? So that took another worry away, because summers can get here really uncomfortable, hot and humid on the US East Coast, but it's still nice enough, to ride, more like when the sun starts going down. So that solves that problem. And then you have that breeze from riding, and mosquitoes. Yeah, mosquitoes have always been my nemesis about going outside here from pretty much, March to October, November, and mosquitoes can't get you if you're riding your bike, on a nice clip. So it's funny that I never even really thought about much bike riding provides an opportunity to go outside when you can't stand mosquitoes. And next, mental health. So I was worried when I was selling my car because it felt like, I'm already living like a hermit. If I sell my car, that even maybe takes away the opportunity or the drive to, like, quite literally, no pun intended, to go like to meetups or to meet other people across town. But riding your bike around, it gives so much more opportunity to interact with others, even if it's just briefly. And I love those interactions. And then if I want to avoid riding on, busy roads, multi-lane roads, then I ride through neighborhoods, and it's amazing, how many people wave, say hello. I see other bike riders who suffer through the, through the traffic, without bike lanes, and we smile and say hello, or pedestrians, people waiting at the bus, and I do love meeting people from all walks of life, and at least exchanging a smile or quick word, and that happens all the time when I ride around. People shout, "Oh, I love your bike." I have this very cool foldable bike, which is like a mix almost between a hybrid bike and a BMX bike. And I'm so grateful to my past self. Like, I bought that years ago, and it's been like mostly just standing around in my living room. I put the links into the description. It's like a Zizo Via bike, and it's so nice. It gives me confidence too, because if I ever, if something happens to the bike, or if I can't make it home, it's nice to know that I could fold it up, put it in a big plastic bag from IKEA that I carry, and then just call an Uber or Lyft. But I haven't had to do that. I haven't had to have groceries delivered or anything, and the bike's holding up, fantastic. It's great to ride. If you start bike riding again after a long while, make sure that your seat is high enough, because it's like so much more effort if the seat is too low. And make sure that your tires are well inflated. Mental health, the encounters I've had, just even people, picking up conversation with me. And, one thing I do is I lock up my bike. I bought a bike alarm, which I enjoy, which I'll show here in a second. But, then I, walk into the grocery store with my bike helmet on, and I'm carrying the bike seat, which I take with me, and then people say, "Oh, that's a great idea," and other people I see in the aisle as I quickly shop and go through the checkout. It's nice, and those are easy conversations. I mean, or small talk. Like a lot of people on the spectrum, I'm not like crazy about small talk, and talking with strangers can sometimes be hard, but sometimes it can be easy when you talk about things you love. So, I love bike riding right now, so I do enjoy when people ask about it, and I can, express my enthusiasm. Yeah, I've sold my car. I enjoy going grocery shopping by bike now. And it's so much easier, like, a lot of people used to just ask, "Oh, where are you from? What's your accent?" And then, they ask the dreaded question, "So what brought you here?" And, people just don't realize that, just don't ask that. I don't want to, disclose to a stranger parts of my life history from 20 plus years ago. And that's always then tough, how to be polite and nice while kind of rejecting their probing questions about what brought me to this, small to medium-sized city here in the States. But yeah, the bike conversations I like, and it's so crazy. Even, I mean, I haven't like flirted in years, and it feels like even like a couple, young men that talked to me. It felt like, wow, that hasn't happened in a long time. Can't lie, that makes you feel good. And again, even if a lot of other things in your life are going south. It's like weird how your brain then attaches to the accomplishment of carrying groceries by bike, or the accomplishment of, having people, respond nicely to you and having some conversations. Those things are so important, to get out. It doesn't take much to get out and get among people and see life. And that's another point. To avoid highways, I ride through side streets and neighborhoods that, I've never driven through. In all the years I've been here, and I've been here almost 10 years, I think, in this neighborhood. And I live in a, not so great part of town, which is actually nice because, it's not this lily white Stepford Wives neighborhood. I mean, I have here, I see people, in their front yards in hammocks. I see kids playing outside. I see, Hispanic people playing loud music and working on their cars. And, it's just simply really fun to ride around and, just wave back at people or say hello and, see all these things that are going on. And I used to love drives, like to get my mind off things, but that doesn't really work if you're always driving like the same route. Your body's on autopilot, driving where you're going, and then you end up just thinking about your problems or your projects or whatever. And with bike riding, it's really, I have to watch the road, I have to watch my surroundings, I have to look for cars, and I think it's a little bit the effect, same reason that some people like extreme skiing or paragliding or whatever. If you're doing an activity that really forces you to be in the moment, it's just forced meditation almost. And sometimes I go on a long bike ride and I realize, wow, I have not thought about my projects or everything that's going wrong in my life. I see, even those neighborhoods, I see beautiful nature, I see animals, I see, chipmunks and squirrels and rabbits. Now, I do see a lot of trash too. I mean, I didn't realize how much trash is there on the side of. I think very often it's like from the back of pickup trucks, it gets blown out by the wind. Yeah, and so much broken glass. Broken glass I'm so scared of, but, fingers crossed, so far I haven't had a flat. Yeah, again, good that I can, fold my bike and call an Uber if that ever happens, and fix it at home. Yeah, another kind of funny thing that I didn't realize or did not remember is that I'm so afraid of heights. And now when I take an overpass, even if there's a bike lane, but sometimes there's not, and I'm right between cars whizzing by and on the top part of a bridge and looking down, it's that's when my brain actually does go crazy and thinks of all the scenarios. What if my bike breaks right now and I get hurled kind of towards that railing, and the railing is only, it's crazy how low some of those railings are. They're only hip height or whatever. So it feels like when you're riding your bike right next to it, you feel like, oh, something could happen, and I go over the railing and crash on the highway below. Those scare me, and there I do have to sometimes get off the bike and push my bike. Yeah, a couple other minor side effects. First of all, I used to just completely avoid the sun, and I think it's why I'm still looking sort of okay in my 50s. Now, when you ride your bike, you can't really avoid it. You wear a bike helmet, and they just don't have large rims or don't shield you from the sun very well. So I have to really probably be careful, really to pick when I ride the bike. Maybe not constantly ride it in hot blazing sun, because that ages you, as I know from past friends and stuff who did marathons or did a ton of bicycling. And unfortunately, with a bike helmet, my skin is very sensitive. So, oh God, it's breaking out now. Wherever the straps rest on the face, with my skin, it only takes a little bit of pressure. And I break out, so I'm dealing kind of with that. And even though I feel overall I already look better just through all that exercise and getting out and sleeping better too, yeah, I probably will have to, use that softener filter somewhat, just to hide the acne a bit. And, my hope is that just maybe my skin gets a little bit used to it. Oh yeah, and another funny thing is, I had mentioned that, due to my recent anxiety and stuff, I had been completely avoiding watching the news, partly just seeing the economy go down and not being able to find a job, etc. has been scary. So I avoided the news like absolutely completely. So I was out and about. I was like, wow, this traffic smog is like really, really bad. And only after I came home, like I caught somewhere, like as I was watching YouTube video or whatever, that it was actually like the smoke from wildfires. So that was probably not very healthy to ride that day, but it was good to know that this was just a one-time event. But yeah, I was riding around. It's like, this feels really crazy. What's going on with the air? I don't remember it being like this. But yeah, let's go to the one big challenge that almost scared me the most when I was considering selling my car and going just everywhere by bicycle, which is, bicycles get stolen here like all the time. And it's almost like it's a crime of opportunity. There's so many kids running around and, people see a bike, and if it's not locked, or even if it's like well locked, all these locks are easy to break. A lot of people are very poor, so the bikes get just stolen all the time, even if you leave them out of your sight just for a few minutes. And I was really scared about that, but yeah, I think part of it was just my brain. When you really want to do something, like crazy idea, like sell your car, and then your brain comes up with a lot of reasons why it wouldn't work. And I think this very exaggerated fear of the bike getting stolen, that was like sort of part of it. But also I found like this wonderful bike alarm, and I'll show some footage here in a second, but it's I zip tied it tightly to my bike frame, and if somebody touches my bike, it makes a sound, and if somebody were to steal it, it would make a loud alarm. And then of course, if you lock your bike up right in front of the grocery store's doors, it's simply very unlikely that in the few minutes that you're gone, that somebody would be that audacious to even like try to steal your bike, and then even maybe ignore a loud sound that draws people's attention. So somehow the fear of getting my bike stolen just kind of dissipated, especially after I took some trips and locked my bike up. And but it's definitely, my initial plan to maybe go for electric bike, like absolutely not. I mean, maybe later on, because it would maybe be nice to do longer trips easily. And right now it's June. It's sort of nice to ride. Maybe later on it won't be. And I can't lie. There are some routes where I just have to be on busy streets so much. It would be nice to just quickly zip through those stretches of road very, very quickly, so I can get back more to pleasant parts of the ride. But for now, I enjoy so much, building the strength, getting my fitness level up. And of course, electric bikes are kind of expensive, so my foldable bike is really perfect, and that's all I. One thing I had to buy for it, though, is a rear view mirror. When I got it, I was kind of scared because it looked kind of small, but it's really perfect. It's so easy to quickly adjust, and it helps so much when you can just quickly look if there's a car behind you or not, because I constantly find myself having to choose between, okay, do I ride on the sidewalk, which can be kind of scrappy, do I ride, try to ride alongside traffic, do I have, should I switch to the other side of the road? And then it's always nice if you just have to quickly glance into the rear view mirrors, and if no car's coming, like you can, just take the road for a while, and if you see a lot of traffic coming, maybe get out of the way, because I'm still kind of scared. And I guess that's the one drawback where, maybe I live a bit more riskier now, and I'm well aware that it only takes been sideswiped once, or somebody opening their car door. And that has happened to me, that I've been riding like on a sidewalk, and it already has happened that somebody just opened a gate that I couldn't see through, like right in front of my face, and I had to brake very quickly. But yeah, so those are my experiences so far. Now, I know I'm privileged that I can live without a car. A lot of people, like people who have kids, a lot of schools prescribe nowadays that you even have to pick up your kid or drop it off, and it's just crazy how American society forces people to have a car. But maybe then again there are some people who are working from home or in a similar situation like me, where they can consider getting rid of their car, or households where maybe there are 2 or 3 cars, and if people really think about it, it's doable to ride somewhere by bike 15, 20, 30 minutes, and it has so many benefits, and it's so much fun, so maybe more people could reduce their need for cars. And but I have to admit, all the positive effects I've been feeling now, if I still had my car, it just doesn't make sense to go to the grocery store without your car when you might see a sale, or you might have to load up on toilet paper or vinegar, or several bottles of orange juice or whatever. It just doesn't make sense when you have a car not to use it. But if you don't have a car, then all the effects come into play, where you have to make it work, and out of that shortcoming, out of that necessity grows nice positive effects, and it takes you out of your routine. But those have been my experiences so far. And thanks for watching to the end. And if that can motivate you maybe to pick up your bike more and start riding more. And I'm very excited, and I'm still improving. My fitness level is still not up to the level of somebody who's like exercised a ton for years, or maybe those younger kids that are in their 30s or early 40s. But I am excited also that maybe later on I could join like a bike group, because if you're on the spectrum, some social activities like these bike meetups or something similar, they can be nice because you're not forced to socialize and talk constantly, and it's more like on a wanna-do basis, and for stretches you could just ride and avoid conversation, and that would work too. So past I had good experiences with using that to even meet people, make friends, and let's face it, eventually I have to get back to that, because just that hermit life is just it has not been working, and I have to get myself out of the rut. But I'm on my way, and thanks for watching my video, and I hope it inspired some of you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.